News Talk ZB.
Today, we're going to take a bit of a deep dive into Triboard TGV. Now, I've used it, the one that I used, 400 wide panel, comes in two lengths, 2.4 or 3.740 long, and it boasts a 15 millimetre thickness. It's got MDF on both outer layers, and it's got a strand. Another person who's used it is Tim Pearson, a builder from Lowburn in North Canterbury, who's been incorporating Triboard TGV into several of his projects. Tim, I understand that you designed and built your own home, got creative using Triboard TGV, and then Lance Fitzmaurice, who's Duke and South Island sales rep, said that you were on the hunt for a durable lining solution, discovered Triboard TGV on a Lake Ohau story from Archie Pro. So the key advantages for you for TGV from Triboard?
Yeah, after seeing that article on the Triboard, I talked a client into using it on a large raking ceiling, and I was quite impressed how it went together and its durability, and there's no need for any subtrates, so like a gypsum stopper, and it looks really good. So we ended up using it on our own home.
In terms of the installation process for Triboard TGV compared to other materials, what's it like in terms of time, complexity, and also tell me about the fixing process?
Yeah, I found it pretty quick and easy to install. So I cut all the boards using a plunge saw. Because the Triboard TGV, it's 400 wide, and you can't really use a drop saw because it doesn't cut that wide. So I made a square of an old track for the plunge saw, and I found that quick and efficient way to cut it. And I could also do miters on the external corners with that plunge saw. So I ended up gluing and secret nailing it through the tongue, so that cuts out lots of filling and sanding of holes. And because the boards are only 400 wide, they're quite easy for one person to do the installation. And there was very little waste compared to plasterboard, and all the offcuts we used in a log burner.
That's fantastic. Now, which lengths of Triboard TGV did you choose for your projects, and what was the thinking behind that?
Well, we had a skillion roof in our place, and we ran the boards vertically. So I designed the house with that board length in mind. Mm-hmm. So the internal walls were no higher than 3,740. So it worked out really well. All the offcuts were used under the windows or above doors or bulkheads. So yeah, there was very little waste.
And what did you do in terms of treating the Triboard TGV? Any tips for people considering it?
So we primed the boards both sides before installation, and being careful not to put too much paint in the groove of the tongue. And before we fitted our ceiling ply, we sprayed the Triboard once it was fitted. And we done 3 coats, and we sanded it between the coats. But you can use a roller and a brush into the grooves as well.
So it sounds like you didn't just use it in the house, but you've also got the classic man cave project going on, and a client opted for a natural Triboard look. What were the key takeaways from that project? Yeah,
the Triboard TGV was the perfect product for the man cave. It was steel framing, so if you used plywood, we would have had to dwang out all the edges for the ply. So the TGV being long, we needed very little blocking, and I used hardened steel brads and glue to direct fix it to the steel framing. So it saved a lot of time, and the client ended up with a durable surface in his man cave, so he could fix his rugby jerseys up and dartboard and that, and screw anything to the walls anywhere you wanted. It's really tough.
Hey, so you're obviously a fan. Have you got any other upcoming projects where you'll be using Triboard TGV again?
Yeah, I'm building a client's batch over at Lake Brunner, and we're not going to use any plasterboard on the house at all. So it's all going to be TGV in the walls and the garage. And it's got a loft above the garage. It's got really tight access. So the Triboard only being 400 mils wide is really easy to get up into that tight space.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Look, I've used it on a small cabin that I built as well and did a similar thing. Walls and ceiling, like you, pre-primed it, gave it a sand, put it up, 2 top coats, and it looks fantastic. And it's got that durability, I think, which is what we've all come to appreciate from Triboard. Tim, all the very best with that upcoming project, and thanks for your time this morning.
Hey, thanks, Peter.
Pleasure. Delightful guy, Tim, in just outside of Christchurch there, and the J&L product that we're talking about there is Triboard, which is Triboard TGV, so they're 400 wide panels, and I put it up in a little cabin that we built a couple of years ago, and yeah, it's very useful product, I can tell you that.